Welcome back, Heroclix fans. Today we are looking at my top 10 mystical keyworded figures. Now I have imposed a bit of a rule on myself where I can't use the same characters from other lists. So you may notice some big ones are missing from this, but they will appear in other lists. I got to a top 20 and I found it impossible to cut down to a top 10. I mean I have, but there's so many great figures I've missed out. And pretty much any figure on this list could almost be number 10. But without further ado, let's get into it. At number 10, we've got the Shade. That's the Shade from the Flash set. Now this figure has a lot of my favourite abilities. He's got super sensitive shape change, so he's super hard to deal with. He's got Mystics, which at the time was so powerful it was unavoidable damage instead of penetrating. He had a great power where he could deal damage through his Shadow Demons, which were hindering terrain. So he didn't have to roll dice and he could deal damage. 8 clicks long. He had double perplex at a minus to ally characters, but absolutely incredible figure and one that had to be on my mystical list. I've tried to make all my mystical characters mystical, so if they have the keyword, some don't really fit the keyword as well. So this list I've just cut down to mystical types. Now, number 9 might go against that if you don't know who he is, but I've gone for Finn Balor from WWE. I would say him and Bray Wyatt from the current roster deserve the mystical keyword. They're demons, they're fiends, that's their gimmick, and Finn Balor is one of my favourite wrestlers at the moment. The demon is interesting, I love that concept, the paint and face work on it is incredible. The figure itself is only the regular version, which kind of sucks, but its powers are insane. It's basically a close-up Green Arrow. Now, if you've played against Green Arrow, the one-armed one, you know how annoying and how overpowered this figure is for 80 points. Finn Balor is a close version of that. He's less points, but he's nowhere near as much damage or as potent because of the close combat. He has WWE team ability, so he can get closer, but he's still not on that level, but I love the figure nonetheless. Coming in at number 8 is Deadman from Trinity War. Now this figure is incredible. You cannot kill it. The only way to get rid of it is knock out the rest of the team and then knock him out. If he's off the map, he slowly comes back to life. This is probably my favourite doll ever created in that it can't physically die, which is perfect for Deadman. Probably one of my favourite DC characters, up there with The Question and Constantine. So this has always been one of my favourite figures and one I still use to this day. Coming in at number 7. Now some people may hate this one, but it's Felix Faust. He broke the game in a lot of ways with his abilities to just nullify things and stop you from doing stuff. It was so powerful, it was so overpowered, it had to be errated immediately. I think there was a thing where you could prob his dice roll because of how prob was worded, which changed as well. This figure had such a negative impact, but I love the sculpt, I love its abilities, it's fun to play. Well, some of it is fun to play, some of it is far too powerful. But it fits for Felix and it fits for a magic using character. It is endless to what he can do, and this fits perfectly. Coming in at number 6, I've gone for Phantom Stranger, the Chase from the Flash set. Now it was either this or the Connie X version, I couldn't decide. Eventually I went for this simply because it can use prob, and when he does he removes an action token on an enemy's turn, which was just a it was an insane power and I really like that for him. He also had Mastermind, which is again one of my favourite powers. He had the Mystics team ability Mind Control, which he could do as a free action to target a single opposing character with 2 tokens. So a lot of his stuff was kind of, if they have this, he can do that, or if he does this, do this. So they're reactionary, and I enjoyed that in the character. He also had phasing and the ability to carry, and he could carry 1 additional character for each other friendly character with the Mystical or Trinity of Sin keyword. So he was incredible carry, but he also had other abilities, which is always good for Mystical. Coming in at number 5, I've gone for Morganla Fey. Now, it could have been a new one, but instead I've gone for the old Chaos Wars version. And the reason is, when Alex Avila played this to win, I thought that was one of the most interesting and unique teams at the time. Nobody else was playing anything like it. It was clever. It used stat manipulation and math and just putting the odds in your favour in every attack, making them roll high, making you need to roll low. She had a double perplex with, basically a team was with Scarlet Witch as well, so there was a lot of perplexes, taking up defenses, on top of stuff like Energy Shield. Really clever team, and for that reason, this figure has always been one of my favourites. The sculpt itself was incredible. It's got good abilities. It can go in Avengers teams without breaking them. Absolutely love this figure, and easily one of my favourite of all time. Coming in at number 4, I've gone for Sheriff Strange. Now, obviously this is a powerful figure and it's usable in a lot of competitive teams, but the reason I've put this in is because of its sculpt. I'm not really sure why, but this is one of my favourite sculpts. It's just, I think it's the translucent red. I think it looks incredible. The character looks powerful, but we do have to speak about its dial because it has stop clicks, it has penetrating psychic blast, 4 damage, prob, but most importantly, if it hits someone, characters can't use or become equipped by equipment until the end of your turn. So that is super powerful in the competitive game, but that's not even the most important reason it's used. Opposing characters must use a double power action instead of power to activate ID cards. I hate ID cards. I hate wanted posters. The fact that you have so many figures off the board. A lot of games are won by catching somebody off guard. There's some tactics to building your team, but there is no tactic to surprising someone because they can't keep track of your 10 figures you have on your sideboard. I can't wait till I leave the game, and this figure combats that for me. Saying that, I've used ID cards before. I don't think you're an unskilled player for using them at all. I just think the game is better without them. Coming in at number 3, we've got Black Adam. Now, I know this one's used as a ID battery a lot. For me, I like it at its high points, to be honest. It does a lot of damage. It's really mobile. Insane stats. Mystic's Quintessence. Great keywords. Super senses. It can move through blocking. Most importantly is the invincible, I think. So you can't outwit him, so you're going to have to hit through so many clicks, taking mystics every time. He can be really powerful to deal with. But most importantly, Black Adam is my favourite villain of DC. So he had to be on this list. And there was no question he would be in the top 5. It is just where he would be placed. Cool looking sculpt. Still haven't managed to get one. It is a super rare prime. No, sorry, it is a rare prime. But its price is insane, and I don't think it quite warrants that. Now, my top 2. These could go either way. I'm going to say my favourite character is Question, so I'm going to put him number 2, and we'll have a surprise number 1. But at number 2, we've got the Question, the Cognac version from 2013. This figure could choose a power from somewhere else on its dial, which is probably my favourite special they've had in the game. I think pick a power is too strong, but picking from your dial at least limits it. These powers are chosen for this character, so they work. It feels thematic. He's got mystics, but most importantly, he's got a double perplex. But also, when opposing characters use perplex, they must be given a power action instead of a free. Such a powerful ability. One of my favourite figures ever released. There's so much I could say about this Question. I could literally go on. Its sculpt is incredible. Its abilities. It's got so many different abilities that you could use and choose at different times. It's versatile. Absolutely love the figure. I had a team with this and Constantine and the Book of Skulls because the only thing is his attack is quite low. But you can perplex that via his. There's just so much I love about this figure. But let's move on to number 1. From the Trinity War, John Constantine. Now, it's another trench coat wearer, possibly the only one that could contend with the Question. Again, he was in my team that I loved with the Question and the Book of Skulls. That was the first competitive team I truly made. He can use stealth, adjacently friendly characters with a keyword. Dark Justice League can use stealth as well. Kind of cool. He had TK, he had prob, which I could use twice a turn, which is, in a dice rolling game, is so powerful. Don't underestimate how powerful that is. But also, once per turn, choose Outwit or Perplex, and John can use that power until your next turn. When he uses a chosen power to target an opposing character, that character can't use the chosen power until your next turn. So you can outwit something, and then they couldn't outwit you back. This power couldn't be countered, so it couldn't be outwitted anyway. Great figure, great support figure. He was a lot of points for what he did, but the sculpt looked great, incredible abilities. Like I say, with a Book of Skulls, he was just a lot more powerful. I'm trying to remember what hammer I put on each, but yeah, that's my top 10 mystical figures. As always, let me know yours in the comments below and any other keywords you want to see or Heroclix videos. I am working on some team building ones. I am doing some toy hunt stuff, so if you're into figures and collectibles, check those out as well. But until next time,